Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome everyone to the Nerdrotic Dooner. Oh my God, that's blasting out again. Hopefully it doesn't sound like a robot, because it was sounding like a robot before. You guys will tell me if the audio sounds okay, and I will show myself. Yeah, there's already 3 dislikes. That's okay. It's my mom, my 2 sisters probably. They actually have no idea what I do. No idea. So greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. Shout out to Drunk 3PO. Let's just get that out of the way, shall we? And we've got quite a bit to talk about today. The sound sounds good. Okay, great. Because I was about to fire up and I sounded like a Dalek again. And I don't know what it is. All you have to do is restart the sound system and it's fine. So today we'll continue a little bit of the conversation from last night, which is going to be a members-only stream. That's what I'm going to do with my random ones, which I don't do very often. But this is a proper nooner, and we'll go over some of that stuff again. And I saw something very interesting last night. I can't really say how I saw it because I am no longer a subscriber to Netflix, but I saw it. There is a documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma, and I found out about it because I went to George R. R. Martin's Not a Blog, and he said it's the scariest thing he's ever seen. So I'm like, oh boy, better watch this. And timing is everything, and I don't believe in coincidences. And thankfully, I want to express my gratitude to YouTube as I start this out. They do allow us to say a lot of things. And we do complain a lot. They don't allow us to say some things as well. And it's perfectly clear when this started to happen. And it's a movie we're not going to mention. I don't want to even get into. I'm done talking about that movie. The argument's been made. And if people want to get on their political lines and defend it, when the next thing comes up, that's where you're going to be. And we know where you're going to be now. And, it would have probably been a pretty good conversation to have until the political aspect of it got brought up, like I said, and then and more stuff is being brought up and associated with it to discredit how you feel about something. How you feel about something is how you feel about something. I think you can be incredibly wrong defending this movie, but that's how you feel about it. So be it. I am not the moral police. Like I said yesterday, get your freak on. I don't care. I lived in San Francisco and nothing bothered me there, really, except for one thing, which I've talked about before at a certain parade. But as far as adults doing stuff, go for it. I don't care. But the narrative that's being built is pretty clear now. And it's something that really does need to be discussed in an adult way, in a real way, because it will be a huge problem in the future. So this documentary documentaries are essentially propaganda. They are. You start with your narrative. You have a narrative that you build throughout the documentary, but you already know what conclusion you want to come to already. You just don't know the exact pieces on how to get there. It's like writing an end to the book, and you got to fill in all the spaces. That's what a documentary is. I have edited documentaries before. And it's a lot of fun, actually. But there is a narrative involved in it. So it was about a guy from Google. I think he still works there. And supposedly it's about a guy from Google with a conscience, and he wanted to change things because he saw what power the internet had over all of us, basically saying as a nation, we're all addicted to the internet. Sure, some people are, and that is something we need to address. Addiction issues are serious, and I've talked about them in length. Some people aren't. Now, they framed it with email and an addiction to email, something I definitely don't have. I'll admit to all my addictions. Email ain't one of them. And it starts out great. It starts out, hey, I'm a caring person. I care about society. You didn't really hear any politics, any sides getting mentioned until the end. It built up this beautiful thing of, turn off your social media. And they focused on Facebook quite a bit. And I think you might know where I'm going with this. So, okay. So Netflix puts out a movie about a week ago now. The Furor started about a month ago. And then documentary lands on Netflix about Facebook. And then Leonardo DiCaprio and Kim Kardashian, the dynamic duo, start a protest, a day protest for Instagram and Facebook. And we've all heard what happened in 2016 with the election being infiltrated. I'm not here to confirm nor deny any of that because I do not spend a lot of time on Facebook. I have a Facebook group that my son is the moderates, and I spend very little time on Facebook. I find it kind of boring. I liked Facebook like 5 years ago. I don't like it anymore. But everybody's in the group is fine. It's actually the group's getting to be a lot of drama going on in the group right now. So I might have to shut it down. We'll see. I haven't taken the time to go in and look, but my son, who is pretty tolerable guy, he puts up with, he's very chill and doesn't get upset about anything. And he's already like, Dad, this is getting bad. So I digress. They say in this documentary, to sum it up, and I highly recommend you watch it if you can, if you're still on Netflix, is at the end, the people at Google, the people at Facebook absolutely admit we can manipulate you without you even knowing it. And they kind of present how they do that. I question that a little bit, just saying, because I really don't respond to ads on Facebook or, sorry to say, here on YouTube or anywhere else. I get past them as soon as I can. It's just, it doesn't even sink in with me. I imagine most of you are like that too. They were really presenting it like we were all a bunch of sheep. Now, there's sheep out there, not going to lie. And they were presenting it that people are infiltrating individual groups to try to get this group to get on one narrative. And then this narrative gets pushed out and it's false and it's based on lies. And they used a couple of theories, we'll say, out there that were debunked, right? But they didn't they didn't contrast it with stuff that was true. That was my problem. And they really stuck on, they talked about Russians, right? But there's one country, one government they didn't bring up once at all. And I bet you can guess. Not a narrow word about this government. And yeah, I certainly believe there are a lot of countries that try to sway our elections because we're the most powerful nation in the world. What we do dictates a lot of things, and these countries have their interests, so they are most certainly. I don't doubt that for 1 second. But to just completely omit one country that is probably the most obvious of them all, that's when you see a narrative starting to be built, and you see commonalities, and I don't know if this is the hypocrisy of it is this was a documentary about regular folks, innocent folks, being manipulated with half-truths, untruths, and swaying an election in the same documentary where Silicon Valley admitted that they would sway the election, and not even bringing up the mainstream media, not even bringing up the other side of the argument. The mainstream media, which has been busted. It has. So I think this is a conversation we absolutely need to have. But trying to paint a picture that, I don't know, those of us here who are creating YouTube channels, and I have been encouraging many of you to do that. I would love to hear more voices of common sense, but common sense and free speech have now been put in there. It's, I don't know what the word is. It's been, of course it's politicized. It's become a partisan position when these are, free speech is a right for everyone. It should not be a partisan position. And it's something that the classic left used to champion. And I love that about them. And now it's become partisan because sometimes that free speech comes with pretty nasty stuff. You got to take the good with the bad. That's freedom. You can't regulate speech, but it's happening already. It's already happening. And this is how it's done, by using that freedom against us. And a documentary about infiltrating groups of people with mistruths and half-truths, and that swaying public opinion while not bringing up a certain government and the mainstream media, tells me everything I need to know. Again, conversation we need to have. Absolutely. On both extremes are doing it. But I'll say there's one extreme out there right now burning shit down, and the other one has very little power. And what little power they have is given to them because I think there's a lot of people out there who want it to exist, and think it exists in a much larger form than it is, because it has no power in media. And then pointing out at the end a clearly debunked conspiracy theory that I'm not going to bring up here, while forming a conspiracy theory. You hear what I'm saying? I mean, by the end of it, I was just shaking my head, because it started out, it pretty much, as the documentary was going on, the documentary was what it was trying to explain to do. It was like, well, they start out slow and they build a narrative, and and it's exactly what the documentary was doing. Aye. And I was up late watching that one. I was actually about to go to bed, and I check either in the morning or at night, not a blog, because you'll never know, George might finish the book, and that would be pretty big news. And since I've been checking for 8 years at this point, I'm not going to stop. It's like, I've been doing it for so long. The one day I stop is the day he'll finish the book. So that's why I do it. And I was up late watching that. And I was watching Jeremy from The Quartering, and he was confirming what I thought, that any discussion of that film right now is just being stamped down. YouTube doesn't want any of it. And it was fine with that conversation a week and a half ago. And what I believe happened was, soon as that narrative that the New Yorker came out about the right-wing narrative, that they just, like, we don't want any of it. We're not even going to risk it. And that's what happens. You put those two words, and people on the left have made it such a boogeyman, which it's not, that an entire party is disenfranchised from the system because they are the boogeyman now. Talk about narratives. And fighting that one right now is an uphill battle. Sure, there is extremes and bad guys on the right. Yes, don't want any part of them, ever. And I don't want any part of the extreme on the left ever. Always open to conversation. I do a show called The Exozone with Doomcock, which returns next week, and we discuss all kinds of things, and anything short of disgusting narratives we won't talk about. But we're pretty open to everything, the UFO thing and stuff. It's fun to talk about. Never present any of it as fact. It's just a conversation. And that's what we're doing here. We're trying to work this stuff out. And now they want to shut it down, or at least before the election. They really want to shut down us communicating with each other. And the pressure is on Facebook now to shut down groups. And then it's going to come over here. That's next. YouTube was brought up. Now, the focus was on Facebook and Google, but YouTube was most definitely brought up. And the whole narrative was we're a bunch of zombies who just wait for the ads. And how many of you, thank you for watching the ads. Great. And if it's a good product, go out and buy it. I don't know what advertises on my videos because I have the YouTube, the premium service, so I don't have the ads. So I have no idea. I have, but imagine most of you just skip right past them. As a matter of fact, when YouTube changed the mid-roll thing, and on my live streams when I was uploading, they were dropping like 3 ads in the first 7 minutes. I heard from you immediately, and I didn't know what was going on. So I tried, I just got rid of the mid-rolls. It's fine. It's not that necessary. I don't want to piss you guys off. It's the last thing I want to do. Well, at least with ads. If you're going to get pissed off, it's going to be because of me. Yeah, I ripped down my Mandalorian video last night. I don't care about the mistake, but I made a huge mistake. I thought Rosario Dawson was, I forget her name. I don't watch wrestling. I would have left that up, but it just got crushed. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just a shitty video. I'll accept that, but it got crushed. So I just yanked it. I'm going to re-upload it on Nerdrotic Live with my, with this live stream. I'll pop it out on the end or the beginning. But I've done that like 4 times over the last 6 years. If a video just gets crushed, I pull it. It's like, nah, I don't even want to deal with it. I've got a couple of other videos I'm working on. One's a big one. One's kind of I got a Doctor Who one that should have been out on Monday. It'll be out tomorrow. So please be sure to check it out. We've got some good Doctor Who news and some bad Doctor Who news. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily good, to be honest with you. It's a respite. That's about it. But you'll have to wait for that till tomorrow. We are going to talk about the BBC. Let's start real quick. I'm going to say my hellos in a minute. Well, no, I'm going to say my hellos in a minute. I just want to show you guys this article. This is why. Thank you. You guys sent me great emails. I got the best email. I don't know if the guy wants me to talk about it. I haven't asked, so I'll generalize it. But I got the best email this morning. It motivates me when I get great emails like that. So let's go. Oh, no, you don't want to see that, do you? What the heck? That's the wrong window. Well, we'll look at that for just a second until I get the right window up. There we go. The BBC is losing money, apparently. Now, I am obviously not in the United Kingdom, so I love it when my Brits email me this stuff, and you guys find out long before I do because the BBC doesn't get talked about this much. Now, there's 2 things we're talking about the BBC. One of them, I got to wait till way later in the show because I don't know. I'm not sure if YouTube's going to like it very much, but it is a clip that it is eye-opening. I mean, it's one of those things you already know, but when you hear it out loud, you're going to go, what the entire F? So we'll start out with this from the Express. I'm sure the Express is just the pinnacle of journalism. I have no idea if it's like the Mirror, the Sun, or it's legit. I don't know. But disaster for BBC as 237,000 families stopped paying license fee costing 40 million pounds. Now, I know by the way, Az is doing okay. Last time I checked, it was last night. I don't want to disturb him now because he's sleeping, but he said he was feeling okay, and he's getting through it. Want to keep the positive thoughts. But Az was one of the people who stopped his license fee. And it looks like a lot of you are doing it over there. 250,000 of you almost. The BBC, I love how they put a sentence in between like all this. The BBC has lost nearly 40 million pounds in income as 237,000 less households are paying the license fee than they did last year. And this article is from today. In order to watch a record or record live television in the UK, each household needs a 157-pound license fee. However, there is speculation an increasing number of families are instead spending the money on streaming services like Netflix and Amazon Prime. Overall, the BBC's license fee revenue fell to 170 million in the last year as the government also cut support used to provide free licenses to those aged over 75. The BBC is struggling in particular with young people who the report found watch nearly as much content on YouTube as produced by the corporation. Duh. Every parent, unless, and I've got to monitor it, to be honest with you. That kid will be in front of YouTube all day if I'm not monitoring it. And who did I see him watch? He was watching Clownfish TV a couple of days ago, which is fine. Currently, the average person aged 16 and 34 watches just 7.5 hours of BBC content, a figure significantly lower for the older age groups. Overall, the proportion of the proportion of the country that watches BBC One at least once a week fell from 68% to 65.4%. And that is that Tim Davie? Yeah, that's Tim Davie. BBC Two also suffered a decline from 42.9% to 41.9%. The only BBC channels which succeeded in increasing their audience were BBC News and BBC Parliament. Oh, that sounds sexy. Likely related to last year's drama around Brexit. The report explained young adults watched 11 hours a week on all TV channels on average, decreasing around 75 minutes year on year. My God, that is knowing too much information. In contrast, the time they spent using the TV set for subscription video on demand, gaming, YouTube, and other purposes increased up to around 40 minutes per week to just over 9 hours weekly on average. How do you get that information? How exactly do you get that information? Internet TV, I mean, whilst its revenue fell, the number of senior managers employed by the BBC rose by 3 to 153. In total, 106 of these earn more than 150,000 pounds per year. Well, that's nothing compared to a San Francisco city worker who makes, we had 19,000 of them. 19,000. I couldn't believe it when I saw that number, making $150,000 a year. So we got you beat on that one. And that is one American city that's not that big per year, giving them a higher pay than the Prime Minister. Another 76 BBC presenters and personalities also earn more than Boris Johnson. Last year, Tim Davie, the incoming BBC Director General, earned $642,000 as head of BBC Studios. When you see that compared to like American Dough, you're like, eh. But this is it's license payer money. And this corporation has not been representing a lot of you for quite some time in their dramas and in their news. Unlike most BBC roles, BBC Studios is not funded by license fee payments, and Mr. Davey has agreed to take a pay cut in his new it says potion position. In a statement, the BBC said some measures are not going in the right direction. No shit. Headcount has increased from 19,231 to 19,572, and senior leader members have gone up from 250 to 253. As the new director general has said, the BBC will keep a focus on cost reduction so that the public service headcount is smaller. Public, do you feel serviced? Or are you getting serviced? The BBC also has to do more to better serve and reflect all license fee payers. It is critical that the BBC gets this right. Well, that's not a word associated with the BBC very much, or center. Earlier this year, Defund the BBC was launched to campaign for the decriminalization of TV license non-payment. The group has since picked up over 95,000 followers on Twitter. Reacting to the news, Rebecca Ryan, Defund the BBC campaign director, commented, whilst the BBC rinses cash-strapped Brits, the rich are getting richer. The BBC extracted much of this money from license fee payers under threat of harassment and prosecution. It is unacceptable that the corporation see fit to pay such huge salaries. In the current climate, with so many people furloughed and facing redundancy for their businesses or their businesses closing, it is a kick in the teeth and somewhere else to see the BBC being shown such large I have no idea what that word is. It might be a word or they might be misspelled. Shown so much damn money. We'll just say that. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Tim Davey has been out there talking about the on-air personalities for the news wanting to get curtail their act on social media. I don't know how you do that. But I guess there's going to be a new social media policy at the BBC to give the perception that they are neutral. They're not. I don't think he brought up actually being neutral, just the perception of it. I don't know how that equates into the dramas, and I don't know how that affects Doctor Who. But we don't have to worry about it for a while because we won't be seeing Doctor Who until 2022, and they haven't started filming yet. They said something about filming in the next few weeks. What's a few weeks? 5 weeks? Is it 7 weeks? That means November, which means 2022. As slow as they are, and they are whinging about the social distancing and that taking so long because they have such a big crew. And apparently last year it took 11 months. It took 11 months to get everything together, and they said it's never been slower, and it cost them a fortune. And I'm wondering if it's because of the new initiative at the BBC, that things are costing twice as much. They're probably having to reshoot a lot of stuff. There's probably a lot of technical errors. Thank God there's not a lot of stunts on that show, or it might be like Batwoman. Yeah, this is what happens. It's going to cost you twice as much to make half as much. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's here. We got the Central Scrutinizer. We got Crackerjack. We got Ben Lunch. We got M Flax. We got Mr. Meme Seeks. We got Dana Bailey. We got Petrified Pundit. Jon Snow, but spelled with an H. Warren Smith, Oliver Von Arks, Fat Freddy's Cat, Frackoff Feldegarb, Eric K is here with his wrench, username unknown, Dr. Y. At this point, yes, it is Dr. Y. Why does it exist? Why is it here? Fine Castle Irie, Project Storytime, Joseph Nash, Mary Ashmead is here with her wrench, and Sapphire Blue 328, Arctic Fox, Lady Gravemaster is here with her wrench, Nikki Griffiths, Ensign Ricky. What's up, Ensign Ricky? Welcome, everyone, to the Nerdrotic Dooner. I couldn't fit it in the title. We've got some comics to talk about, too. I really didn't want to put Mark Waid on my thumbnail. You'll have to forgive me on that one, but it looks like DC's going full Marvel. Well, it looks like it is. They are going full Marvel. And, it'll just hasten the end of the comic book industry. Like we said, I remember earlier this year, I was trying to, help the shops. And, the comic book industry had this one opportunity to kind of get together, figure things out, try to service as many customers as they can. And they all went into their corners, started squabbling, then the rioting and the looting, and everybody thinks 2016 returned. So now they're just going to they're going to turn the woke up to 15 at this point and just die. And I said at that time, well, if businesses are still shut down past July, we're going to have much bigger things to worry about. While we're in the much bigger things to worry about territory, I'm not too worried about the comic business. It's going to do what it's going to do. It's going to evolve or die. The shop model, there's just going to be a few shops surviving now. And we're into that territory where the government money is running out and they have to survive on their own. And a bunch of them are crowdfunding, but that's going to peter out as well. And it looks like Indiegogo and, Kickstarter are going to be the way to go. Like everybody said, it'll get smaller, but it'll probably get more refined. But as far as shops go, if your shop is, if you're like a trust fund kid or you're in retirement and as long as you don't need your shop to pay your bills, it can survive. If you need your shop to pay your bills and you're not in, well, I can't even say that. Midtown Comics might be in trouble at some point too. I wouldn't recommend you do it. It's a good hobby. It's a good hobby. I just want to have Gary read my super chat. Drunk 3PO is bringing sexy back, and shout out to Comics Division. The dude rocks. Toxic Man Flu, thank you for the $5. Done. I appreciate that. So Hollywood is going to be in quite a pickle. They already are. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence out there that they really need to reconnect with their customer. I think it's a pretty obvious statement. They're out there right now, and listen, they've always been this way. But I don't know, who is the last movie star? Is it Leo DiCaprio? He doesn't bring butts in the seats anymore like he used to. But he's out there running a protest on Instagram. And this probably is a sacrifice for the adult pretenders to not post on Instagram for 24 hours. To get Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm not here to defend Zuckerberg, ever. I think we can all agree that dude's got way too much power. And look, is this a great country or what? Mark Zuckerberg couldn't get laid. He couldn't get, and he makes $1 billion company out of it. Only in America could that happen. There's no other system on earth where that could happen, where you take a negative and you turn it into a net positive, and then it turns into this monster out of control. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm off Facebook. I don't know how many of you are on it. It has zero power in my life. I honestly, I thought it was on its way out. Now, I drove by his houses in the Mission when I lived there. He's got walls around him, and he bought his neighbor's house, and he's got 16 armed security guards monitoring these houses. I can't remember the number of homes. At the very least, it was 2, but I think it's more than that. And right in the Mission, in the middle of San Francisco, in a neighborhood, instead of, go do what normal rich people do and go out in, Bel Air or go up to Pacific Heights or go up to Marin, dude. There's plenty of room up there in Marin to have your compound. And if you do it in the middle of Mission, you're just going to piss everybody in the Mission off, and they're mad anyway. They're always mad. So one thing I found out about quickly when I moved to San Francisco, because I grew up probably in the most chill city in America. San Diego, at least North County, is just beyond chill. It's frustratingly chill sometimes. But you go to San Francisco and there's all the hippies and stuff. And the first thing I found out is everybody's pissed up there. It's like a little mini New York. They're just pissed, but pissed in a California way. See, it's more of a passive aggressive way. See, New York, they're not passive aggressive. They're very in your face. San Francisco, yeah, they won't tell you. They're the whole city of I'm fine. I'm fine. My Cara D action figure from third party arrived, says 200 beep bop boop watt studio for $2. Excellent. Mine has not yet. Mine has not, or it would be up. This is the last live stream with the GD freaking green screen. I am almost done with the background. I got to light it and stuff. Might give you guys a peek later. Might give you a little peek later. So Leonardo DiCaprio probably thought of doing a protest on Instagram, and he teamed up with Kim Kardashian, which to her, it probably is a sacrifice. She's probably in a corner right now feeling like her skin itch or something. And yeah, she's probably freaking out. But, Leo was probably on his private jet, flying to Tahiti and thought, I'll do something powerful, stunning and brave. I will not post anything on Instagram. I will starve the public of my image for 24 hours. Take that, public. Take that, Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. Sorry, I have to drink freaking Starbucks. Ugh. It's a convenience. Sometimes convenience is a killer, but caffeine's good. Yeah, that protest is going on today. I don't know what good it's going to do. I think I do believe the stock went down. But this is all about the election. This is all about that documentary I talked about earlier. If you missed it, I think you can rewind it. Oh, I didn't want to go to freaking Facebook. I wanted to go to Facebook stock. Oh, yeah, it's down. It is most definitely down. Right there. But if you have a bunch of, rich people, if Leonardo DiCaprio calls 5 of his friends and says, sell your Facebook stock to make my protest look good, and then we can protest manipulating people by manipulating people. Okay? Okay, cool. Leo's such a hypocrite. They all are. And as they have been fanning the flames of division, as they are, I don't know if they're all moving out of Hollywood, but a lot of them have left temporarily. A lot of them have gone to New Zealand to go live in their houses over there, out of the country until things blow over, probably till the election. They're very happy to stir things up. They aren't too keen on sticking around and dealing with the consequences of it. And then from New Zealand, they're going to complain how divisive America is when they have filled damn near all of our entertainment, all of our sports with divisiveness. And when you have the giant corporations at your back, You can get away with this crap. And then they come after you and me, saying we're a bunch of, sheep in a Facebook group following some theory. When we're like, I don't know about you. I do this stuff. This is what I do. And I don't pay attention to Facebook at all. I don't get any information from Facebook. I don't get information from Reddit. I don't get information from 4chan. I just don't. I go where I can go. I try to listen to other people, but and again, I'm sure it exists. It's a conversation we could have, but we're not going to have it through that partisan lens. And if you weren't here earlier and you're just getting here, earlier in the live stream, I was discussing a documentary that I watched last night called The Social Dilemma, which starts out very innocently, like all documentaries do, and it ends with you're a bunch of sheep going into Facebook groups, buying ads all the time. And after we've become billionaires and become a company bigger than other than Amazon, or is it the biggest company in the history of the world? Not sure. We've decided we have a conscience now, and we're going to help you. We're going to help you. So I believe the guy, okay, so if I remember it right, the guy worked at Google. He wanted Google to change. They seemed to be behind it, and then they ghosted him. So then he went out on his own, and he speaks now. So he does speaking engagements to large social media companies. By the way, these companies have auditoriums and they do speaking engagements, and Google has its own internal, like YouTube or Facebook or whatever they have. They have their own internal system where they all talk to each other, and that stuff. I mean, I wasn't aware of it. I probably should have been. I didn't care enough to be aware of it, but yeah, that was interesting to find out. But we all know that these companies aren't our friend. So for some of them to come out and say, we want to be your friend now, or one guy who used to work there wants to be your friend, and then they do the most basic bitch narrative in a documentary. And you know what? Again, what they said happens to us, they are doing. So they say I'll walk you through it. Somebody sees something on Facebook, an article that somebody posts. Then they go into group and then they post it and they go, what do you think? And that happens all the time. Yes. And it gets like 5 or 10 likes. And supposedly that article gets shared over and over again. And what it is it's nefarious people making up stuff. And then they shoot it to the right person who can be an influencer in that group and da-da-da-da. So what happens? How did I hear about this documentary? I went to George R. R. Martin. He posted it on his blog. He said there's this interesting thing. I watched it, except I didn't believe it at the end. I saw through the bullshit, which most of you can do. And that's why we're talking to each other, because one of the common things I hear around here from Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers, or at the Quartering, or from you in the chat, from Modalicious or 200 Watt Studio, is I thought I was going crazy. I was watching the news. I was watching movie reviews. I thought I was losing my mind. I thought, wow, what was completely normal just 12 months ago is now wrong. Everything is wrong. How did everything become wrong in 12 months? Usually there's a slow progression to wrong. Usually, this was like, well, you're not going crazy. And I can't even say the term now because it's the name of Mr. Jones's website, but that's what it is. That's what it is. And I think most of us just want the truth. If the truth upsets us sometimes, well, that's what it's going to do. But I think we all know we're not getting it. Now, I'm not here to tell you what it is. I mean, like, that's the journey we're on together. All right. We're trying to figure it out. We're sifting it through. And occasionally we enjoy a television show. I would like to go back to that, to be honest with you. Very much so. After this last weekend, that was just, whew, man, I talked about it last night. I don't get, sorry, Doomcock. I don't stay angry about anything. I try not to. Staying angry is not healthy. But you can get annoyed and re-annoyed by something, but I don't sit there and stew in it. But the whole conversation we were having about that thing on Netflix, and made worse by people defending it, put me in a dark mood. And I didn't even realize I was crabby. Mrs. Nerdrotic said I was crabby. And usually I'm crabby for a little while, but not like for days on end. And I realized it, I think Monday. And what snapped me out of it was I watched Lord of the Rings for a little while, and we'll watch the video later, this thank you we got for Friday Night Tights when we helped a young lady's channel, and she was genuinely happy and put up a video, and it was really cool, but it snapped me out of it. I was like, whoa, holy shit. So, and I don't know where we go with that conversation. Now that it got politicized, they're just shutting it down. And that's what we need to fight, is shutting down the conversation. Because that's what it was. It was a conversation. It wasn't a theory, because I watched the movie. And honestly, you just needed to see the clips. All that context was, a lot of people said that who didn't see it themselves. Now, apparently, according to Netflix, it's number 4. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. For one, you would be very surprised like how low their numbers are at times. It's not like there's a billion people watching Netflix all the time at once. They're watching a lot of different things. So it's probably a lot like YouTube. And I could see something like that being number 4 after the controversy, people wanting to see and find out for sure. Netflix stock bounced back. Not surprised. There's probably some very rich people out there who saw it get a little low and decided to buy low. That's what you're supposed to do. Netflix stock, if they hadn't have put on that film, they would have most definitely someday be at $1,000 a share. I couldn't believe my Tesla stock, by the way. So I had Tesla stock because I worked there. And after I quit in a huff, I'm like, I need a couple bucks. So I'm going to sell my Netflix stock. And I didn't follow through with it. I got the process started, didn't follow through. And I thought I sold it, but I didn't. And I'm very happy I did that. Very happy I didn't do that, by the way. Very, very happy I didn't do that. Holy crap. But yeah, Facebook stock's taking a hit. Netflix stock looks pretty good. And the beat goes on. And I guess we're just going to have to wait till the next time we see some normalization. But the one good thing that came out of it is awareness. The awareness is coming up, and it's coming up so much because remember, this was brought up before with Me Too, and it got stamped down. And every time it gets brought up, it gets stamped down and called a theory of some kind. When we all know it's bullshit. We all know what's going on in that town. I don't know how much. I don't think it's like a lot of people. It's probably a group, a small group that's been getting away with it, I don't know, forever. A lot of circumstantial evidence, though. And what blows me away is it gets defended. Like, what does Netflix care? I mean, they run Hollywood anyway. Oh, yeah, that's right. Somebody who works at Netflix, a cheerleader, got busted. Mm-hmm. So the Netflix stock is, it's not up at all, actually. I heard it was up. I was incorrect. which I am. It happens. Let's take a look at that Netflix stock. You can see it right there. Yeah, so it's at 483.86. Maybe you can see it a little bit better there. No. Oh, what the hell? What is going on? That's like some Inception shit right there. Where did the chat go? There we go. There you are. Let's get to you a little bit here. Now, we're going to talk about some geek stuff in a little bit too. The troubles with the Mandalorian are interesting. I found something else interesting too. Now, there could be a lot of reasons for this. But it looked like across the board, there was an interest in the Mandalorian trailer, but not like you'd think. Now, the trailer was mediocre, but it wasn't rabid like you would think. It was because that's the one good thing they've done. And I felt like the response for the Mandalorian for a Star Wars thing was kind of tepid. That's interesting. So Florence Pugh is pulling an Ewan McGregor and promoting that the Black Widow movie is about female abuse and Me Too. Phase 4 is going to bomb. Are you kidding me? IK1906. Hey, email me that, would you? Here comes the MCU. We all knew it was coming. And they just can't shut up. They bury their films before they even come out. And this movie is probably not going to come out in the theaters anyway. I don't know why they haven't just dropped it on Disney Plus. Oh, because it's an MCU movie? Well, I don't know. It kind of looks like we're... I was fully expecting us to lock down again right around November, probably through the end of the year. And it still could happen. I just don't think people are going to do it. They can try. But I was fully expecting that. So, and they pushed it to next year anyway. Under normal circumstances, it would have been a hit if they had released it when they wanted to release it. There was still momentum. It's a Marvel movie. It's got the brand recognition. It will still be a hit, but it's going to be more of an Ant-Man Wasp kind of movie than Captain Marvel making $1 billion. You're not going to see a movie of the quality of Captain Marvel make $1 billion again. Not anytime soon. And Disney knows it. And Black Widow most certainly could have been, like, in a true sense of the word, a feminist film. It already has feminist themes in the comic. But we're talking about 2020 intersectional feminism, which is about as exciting to watch as intersectional feminism. I can't think of anything else worse than that to watch a movie based on that. Predictable and bad. It won't be funny because intersectional feminists have no sense of humor. That is removed. And it won't be sexy. So you're going to put Scarlett Johansson in a movie, and she's a good actor. She is. But we don't watch Black Widow for the acting. We watch Black Widow for the superhero action, and a lot of us like Black Widow's very tight suit. Men and women. The attraction thing. There's different levels of attraction, right? We've all talked about this before. There's a great article out on that that plays into why we watch film, why we root for certain characters. And when you mess with that, it always fails, like every single time. And they're messing with that. They messed with it with Birds of Prey because people like Harley Quinn because of her costume. Girl Deadpool. It's something that's funny for a little while, then the joke grows old. Why do you think a lot of ladies like Harley Quinn? Why do you think Harley Quinn is the second best-selling merchandise for DC, right next to Batman? Is it because of her mind? And as much women buy that stuff as men, maybe more. I ask you again, is it because of her mind? No. No. Grats on passing Jeremy again, says Chris Knight for $1.99. I did? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I like the congratulations. I'll take that at any time. But Jeremy will probably pass me back up tomorrow. The subs have been bizarre on YouTube over the last couple of months. I can't even figure it out. So thanks. I appreciate it. As long as I'm growing, I'm happy. See, on YouTube, the key to YouTube, I've watched some of those videos where like top 10 mistakes YouTubers make. I watch them. It's good to listen. There's one I absolutely believe in though. Compete against yourself. Compete against yourself. Do not compete against another channel. You'll drive yourself crazy. Compete against yourself. The one thing I had to get over is, they made a video on that. I'm not going to make a video on that. Bullshit. Everybody make a video on it. People want to hear your take. So, thank you. Instead of Joker 2, I'd rather see other lesser Batman villains get the Joker treatment. The ventriloquist would be an amazing choice to feature. Ironcaster for $5. For hardcore DC fans, yes, but the average normie has no idea who that is, and you need that brand recognition. I don't ever want to see another movie get the Joker treatment. I don't. I think it was an anomaly. It will never happen again. For one, it's a remake of Taxi Driver. And we're also going to discuss an article, a brilliant article that came out on my good friend Jeremy's Geeks and Gamers website that we're going to discuss about the Joker. The Joker 2, the only way that would work, and it can't, is if you had Joaquin Phoenix take on a Batman. Unfortunately, Batman was 27 years younger than him. So, yeah, it's just not going to work. No Joker 2. No thanks. If Joaquin Phoenix is offered $50 million, he's got to take it. I understand that. But Todd Phillips will probably not direct it. But, yeah, there is an article out there. We'll go over that in just a second, Ironcaster. Louis the Plank for $5. Hail, Gary. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. Thank you for supporting here. Sorry, I got distracted there. Thank you for your support. You guys keep me sane. Again, I got a great email, just reaching out. Somebody said, hey, you've been, it's been a real bad time in my life. Thanks for keeping me company. And the same goes back to you guys. And I've been in that position before, believe me. So there it is. So let's see how much validity there is to this. Oops, there we go. Rumor, Joaquin Phoenix offered big money to reprise role for Joker sequels. Despite the standalone nature, Joaquin Phoenix Joker may spin out into a trilogy, as a new rumor suggests that Joaquin Phoenix has been offered a sizable amount of money to put on a happy face for 2 back-to-back sequels. An insider has informed the UK Mirror that Phoenix is being offered $50 million to reprise the Oscar-winning role of Arthur Fleck for 2 more movies. Joaquin initially felt Joker was a standalone movie, but then $50 million rolled up to his house, and he said, I think we can make it trilogy. Wow, artistically, that all of a sudden works for me. The Insider further alleged that a timetable has been set for production on the sequels and noted that Warner Brothers has also courted a a commitment from courted commitment from Joker director Todd Phillips and producer Bradley Cooper. They plan to make 2 sequels in the next 4 years with a long-term commitment. To Bradley Cooper produced it? I didn't know that. So they plan to make 2 more. Here's what I would do. Despite the fact that a sequel is still being negotiated, the source claims the scripts are being written and Joaquin is very engaged with it. Yes, in between counting $50 million. Sequel talk began the Joker's unexpected box office success, a reception which shocked Warner Brothers as much as anybody, and The Hollywood Reporter previously broke a story in November that Phillips and co-writer Scott Silver were working on a follow-up. At the time, Phillips downplayed the report as just that, mere talk. Well, a movie doesn't make $1 billion and they don't talk about a sequel, says IndieWire. Yeah, hell no. He would add, Joaquin and I have publicly said we've been talking about sequels since week 2 of shooting because it's such a fun thing to talk about. Okay. We know how much it grossed. All right. So I'm going to get to that other article in just a moment. The reason the Joker is on my thumbnail is not for this article. It pretty much, the reason I put Tom Hanks on my thumbnail is it represents Hollywood right now. To me, it was an artistic choice. It represents Hollywood. Tom Hanks represents Hollywood right now. He is the face of Hollywood. And the Joker is the face of clowns right now. And they're acting like clowns. They're spreading division in America. And I want to remind you of something that happened. Joker came out about a year ago, right? It's about a year ago. I was in New York at New York Comic Con with Jeremy and met EVS there and everything. And I remember, it's one of my best performing videos, talking about the narrative that was built around that film. Remember it? I do. I had to walk through a metal detector to see the Joker. And I thought that was the craziest thing I've ever done. I'm like, what is going on? Little did we know 2020 was right around the corner. But Jeremy and I and Sir Ruin of House Roundhead, who was out there, who took us to the film, and seeing it in New York was like perfect. And I love the movie. I understand the themes. And I understand the narrative that was built around it. And remember, it was going to cause violence. Remember that? Remember, it was going to cause violence. Violence in the streets. A bunch of us white guys were going to go out and start burning shit down and doing much worse. And guess what happened just a few short months later? That the media all of a sudden was all about. Well, one of the guys at Jeremy's website noticed this and wrote a very poignant article. It's very political. But it does point out all the hypocrisies of what happened, last year at this time and what transpired just months afterwards. It was exactly what they were afraid was going to happen. And then you saw them rooting it on. It was something that needed to happen. Whoa, wait, what? Because originally, violence was bad. And by the way, it is. It was bad. But now we're hearing crazy stuff. And we are kind of back collectively in 2016 territory as far as the media is concerned. We were beating the media down. All of us were. We were destroyed. The access media is done. You notice a lot of us don't do a ton of access media articles anymore because their credibility just went down the shitter at the end of last year. Like, they're not even fun to pick on anymore. That's how fucking bad they are. Because of this was one of their last narratives. They ran with I don't even want to say the word, but we'll say lonely guy in mom's basement. And all of the lonely guys in mom's basement were going to rebel after they see this movie. Well, something like that happened, but they watched a video instead. And however you feel about that video, I think there was a conversation about that video in Minneapolis that could have been had. I know the circumstances around it. I understand that. Whatever that conversation was has been lost long time ago. But then it did result into exactly what the media was predicting was going to happen after a movie. And you wonder why they have no credibility anymore. And they start running narratives that because you vote for a president, you're obviously manipulated in a Facebook group. There's no way you could be doing that because Leonardo DiCaprio is the arbiter of your morality. He's thinking about your morality, how to make a world a better place while he's getting a you-know-what in a jet where he's flying to get an artisanal popcorn that he likes in Switzerland. Then he's going to fly back to Malibu and watch a movie while eating that popcorn. He's going to talk to us about that stuff. Pull this up. And there's also, don't forget, there's also that video we're going to watch from the BBC. Here. God, I hope I can find this now. Here, I'll just go to their website. They're an up-and-coming website, so it's not going to be... there it is. Where is that article? Give me just a moment. There it is, right there. Yeah, it was written on about a month ago. Jeremy sent it to me. I was going to get to it, then I didn't get to it. But this is it. Not going to read the entire thing. We'll go over some highlights, but he discusses how it's life imitating art. I do highly recommend you read it. Again, Jeremy lets his people get as political as they want, and it's an opinion piece. It's by Alex Garzo. If I mispronounce his last name, sorry. I met Alex. I met. I'm trying to look. That's the guy I met in New York, right? Life imitates art. Is one of those cliches that people rattle off with such regularity that one typically just nods along whenever it's uttered. But this past year, new life has been breathed into the rote chestnut, and it's not come at the hands of the increasingly violent left all around the country. Antifa and BLM, the foot soldiers of the certain party and their propaganda arm, the mainstream media, have been laying waste to every American city where the stateside version of Sinn Féin gives them free reign. Sinn Féin gives them free reign. Rioting and looting, arson, assaults, and even murder have become part of the left's new normal. And no matter which side of the divide any of us fall on, we're all just praying to make it through the election in hopes that it will finally end. What makes it so fascinating from an entertainment perspective is how closely our homegrown ists mirror, and not the normal kind of ists, the ones that they're scare ists, I'll just say that, mirror what was last fall one of the many targets of their ire, the Joker. Joker is a new version, albeit with influences from previous stories, of the premier comic book villain's origin, one in which aspiring comedian Arthur Fleck, Joaquin Phoenix, in a role that would win him a much-deserved Oscar, begins a downward spiral through grief, depression, and madness, facing rejection from every aspect of society he hopes will eventually care about him until he becomes the monster such a world will inevitably birth. It's a tour de force that seemed to take the world by surprise, not only entering but dominating the zeitgeist and already leaving an indelible mark on our culture. This is true. When I first heard it, I'm like, do we need this? Why do we need this? Why do we need this? They talk about the movie a lot. Life comes at you fast is another of those banal sayings gaining increasing social media popularity. And in this case, it's frighteningly real. All summer long, using the death of Mr. Floyd while in police custody as an impetus, you're kidding yourself if you think any of these people even remember his name. Violent communist groups, Antifa and BLM, have taken to the streets, emboldened by their elected enablers and their diffusing of law enforcement, and are causing destruction on a scale that would make the Joker's acolytes blush. New York City, my hometown, and real-life Gotham is just one of those targets, and not even the hardest one hit. Portland, Los Angeles, and this week, the small town of Kenosha, Wisconsin, all got it worse, though I guess there's still time. And plenty of other hotbeds pepper the nation. Certainly, the Marxists have rioted before, and they will likely they were likely the inspiration of the Joker climax. They were. But the scale of the current apocalypse brings Phillips' film quickly to mind. It's not an apocalypse. It's bad, but it's not an apocalypse. So the question is, do these nut jobs realize that they are confirming the conclusions drawn by the movie they so revile? They have become the Joker and his army, the people they exonerated as representative of the other side, the mindless savages who unleash their rage on any and everyone they could find. Police are being attacked. People are beaten in the streets. Burning buildings blaze through the night. Expensive items are stolen, justified with a rationale similar to "you get what you effing deserve." They even, in somewhat pleasing bit of irony, cast as their opponent a crusading billionaire who left a life of luxury to save the rest of us from people like them. The riots the Joker instigates in the movie end up giving birth to Batman by leading to the slaying of the Waynes in front of the young Bruce. Tragically, even this has been mirrored in a reality. The mother of a young boy was somebody left this mortal coil for just speaking a sentence. Ultimately, the real fictional riots will garner the same result. Some people see both as abominations that must be quelled, and the harbingers of a darker world that might be changed forever. But the Marxists who hated the Joker because they didn't get it are now acting it out in real time, and I imagine they still don't get it. So much the worse for the innocents caught in the path, because when violence starts, nobody laughs but the Joker. And you add the media in that. Well, yeah, you add the media in that. So here we are. A lot of us have just been watching the sequel of the Joker already play out. We just don't have a Joker. Well, we might. We might have a few. But as far as healing, which is, unity, healing, things we all want, the extremists don't want that. They most definitely don't want that. Now, one of the things in that documentary I watched last night talked about, we're divided, but the whole thought is, once you come over to our line of thinking, there'll be peace. Once these dumb sheep realize that they're dumb sheep and they listen to, those intelligent people in Silicon Valley, who no doubt takes a lot of intelligence to build algorithms and build billion-dollar companies. It also takes a lot of time in solitude, a lot of time by yourself, and you're not out there interacting with a lot of people. So there has to be a social intelligence, which I question for Silicon Valley. Not, again, hashtag not all. Not everybody's bad. Not everybody believes that way. Most of us don't. We're just little cogs in the machine. And again, that's one of the things they try to point out, but they point it out in a very biased way. Hail, Gary. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Louis the Plank, for $5. Lady Gravemaster says, wasn't my live stream, LOL, Metal Gear Mandos. I don't know what you're talking about, Lady Gravemaster, but thanks. The Physicality channel, and you're not supposed to be giving super chats, by the way. The Physicality channel for $2. Friendship and karate for everyone, fellow boomers. Greetings, fellow boomers. Concentration camp in Brisbane, Australia, $14.99 Australian. Hail, Nerdrotic. Save as. James Fox documentary, The Phenomenon, will be available digitally worldwide on October 6, 2020. Can we discuss it on the Exozone? If I have time to watch it, certainly. I'll keep an eye out for it. Thank you. Bearded Warrior for £5. You said ages ago I could use a clip for my video. Just wanted to say thanks. And the video is up. I've credited you and the vid and in the description, says Bearded Warrior for £5. I appreciate that. Thanks. Listen, you guys can use, if you guys need clips, whenever. You have my permission to use clips. It's fine. Thank you, Bearded Warrior. I appreciate that. I'll check it out. Bird of Prey 5 for $2. Jody is the best doctor. Change my mind. LOL. Watch an episode. Jody is Jody. I do have an article we can go over in a little bit that explains why she's not. I fell asleep during last night's live stream. I've let you down, sir. Lubella for $5. It was so late. I don't blame you. It's fine. It's totally okay. You didn't let me down. Culture Casino for $1.49. Thank you for the phallic unicorn. Scott Kerr for 2 Canadian pesos. First live stream since the sad news of the RIP Venture Brothers. Yeah, we lost the Venture Brothers. We lost the Venture Brothers forever. That was not fun. That was not fun to hear. It's been gone for months, by the way. So there's no way to save it. There's no real way to save it. Jackson Public came out on Twitter and said it was canceled months ago, and there must be a rights issue, and I don't know why they didn't announce it months ago, because this would be one of the easiest things to crowdfund on the planet. At least give us the last episode. You left us hanging. Buttermilk Biscuits for $10. New subscriber here, and I've been loving the content. Thanks. Well, welcome. Thank you very much. Glad to have you here. Concentration camp in Brisbane, Australia for $14.99. Hail, Nerdrotic. Why did that pop up twice? That's weird. Oh, it popped up twice. Did you mean to do that? Concentration camp, Brisbane, Australia. Save as, by the way, as from Heel versus Babyface is feeling under the weather. I don't think he'll be making Friday Night Tights. I don't expect him to. So he'll return when he's ready, when he's healthy. And hashtag save as. Emotionally unstable amphibian for £2. Please say heteronormative. Heteronormative. That is the one thing they will be taking out of Star Trek and Doctor Who. I'm going to give you guys a little preview. So if you watch the Star Trek Discovery Season 3 trailer, you would notice it's missing something. I don't care. If I thought they would tell a good story, I don't need to see a white dude. I don't need to see. They can not cast. They can have a completely, white straight dude, by the way. But you could have I don't care. And all Asian cast in Star Trek. I'd watch it if it's good. I don't care. But yes, they had their greatest achievement is the first Star Trek without a cis white male lead. And Doctor Who, when it does return in 2022, it will be a penisless TARDIS team. That's right. The first TARDIS team without a penis. That's going to be their selling point. It's going to be Mandeep Gill as Yaz, and the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, as the doctor, or as a female doing a Matt Smith and David Tennant impression and killing a TV show. It will be the lowest rated Doctor Who ever. If it happens. If it even happens at this point. I think that's a good question. Because now things, if they said they're going to start filming in a few weeks. And if they do, then it's happening. But will it happen after that? If the BBC keeps losing money, it's not like that show was impartial, but it unanimously pissed off, well, most of the fans. There's still some fans hanging on. I've got a pile of Doctor Who figures behind me, about 10 feet behind me, that are going to go on the side of the wall. I've been putting up Doctor Who figures last couple of days. And yeah, quite fun. It's been quite fun. Yeah. Oh God. I've just got to finish that video. I don't want to spoil it. There's a good article though we can read in a moment. Do you guys want to see something? I'll read a couple more super chats. Then we're going to see something very controversial that will probably get this stream ghosted the minute I play it. That's why I've been kind of waiting. So hang in there. Okay. Hang in there. We're going to see something that's going to piss you off. And listen, I'll preface it before I say it. Michael Lewis, welcome to the Gandalf level. Emotionally unstable amphibian. Thank you for the £2. Hashtag save as. Absolutely. I agree. 200 beep bop. Oh, I've got to get this right. 200 beep bop boop Watt Studio for $5. Gary, Leviathan Falls, the 9th book of The Expanse was just announced. No shit. Really? When's it coming out? Six hours ago. What's the date on it? It will arrive in 2021. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a conversation for another day. That's a conversation for another day because the Expanse book series took the hardest left turn and did one of the dumbest things I've ever seen a book series do. Will they be able to recover? They kind of recovered last book, but yeah. Imagine getting right after the Battle of Helm's Deep. You did a 30-year time jump and then made Aragorn a prisoner of Sauron. And you only put him in a couple of chapters in Return of the King. Yeah, that's what they did. That's what they did. It was like, what the fuck? And then we started following around. I mean, I like Merry and Pippin, but we were following around Merry and Pippin. Was watching The Waters on Mars last night, and David Tennant made me so happy, but ultimately sad as well, because I know it's gone and it won't come back. Nettled Nerds for $5. That is what RIP Doctor Who is. It's gone and it's not coming back. Star Trek is gone. While it's still here, it's gone and it's not coming back. And you have freaking Shill Wheaton out there saying this is the best Star Trek they've ever seen. Are you fucking kidding me? And it's all political, these fucking assholes. And I'm sick of them. YouTube disallows super chats with honk honk. Yep. Really? Sarn Zero for $2. That's lame. But they have a clown in the emojis. That's stupid. They're also doing something else that we got to figure out for new channels. I think there's something coming around the bend that I think they're going to make it more difficult to monetize. So if that's why we're helping people push up, because there's something new. I went and looked at the user agreement, and supposedly just to get monetized, you need 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours over the last 12 months. Doesn't say anything about resetting those hours unless it's been 12 months. Well, 4,000 hours is pretty easy to get if you do some live streams and stuff. But apparently they're doing something else now, and they're resetting people's hours after 3 months or a couple of months and making it more difficult. Not cool. Bill Melater, thank you for the cupper. Thank you for the super sticker for $3.99. I appreciate it. All right, one more super chat, then we're going to get something controversial. Alex Acera for $9.99. I'm bisexual and a left-wing populist. Even I am getting sick of this hypocrisy. I hate the Dem leaders and Repub leaders. Stay safe, Gary. Midnighter and Apollo movie just... that would be, listen, a Midnighter and Apollo movie, I wouldn't be surprised if I can't believe they haven't done it, to be honest with you. I can't believe they haven't done an authority. So listen, there's people from all sides here. We're all getting sick of this fucking bullshit. But listen, the leaders for most politics suck. That's why people like outsiders. That's why people like the Orange Man, because they see him as an outsider. And he is. And he communicates much better because he's not full of shit. A lot of people think he is. But I want to remind you, this is the same Orange Man who everybody loved just a few years ago. There's an action figure. I have it right behind me. I bought it and it says, you're fired. Remember that? Remember that guy that everybody loved and all of a sudden he's a demon for some reason? Why? Because there's an outsider messing with the system, messing with their money, which is actually our money. And they will stop at nothing to stop him. I don't believe they create scenarios. I believe they use scenarios. Except, well, there's a couple that they made up that never really happened, but I'm talking about events that are happening right now. Happened. They happened. Nobody's denying it. I love this bullshit that they're putting out there that if you say get back to work, you're denying that the coof exists. No, we're not. We're just saying we know it's there. Be safe. Wash your hands. Practice social distancing. Get your ass back to work. That's all. It's this false Twitter logic shit that we need to fucking get rid of. But to be honest with you, I just lived under Democratic rule, for 18 years in San Francisco. I want no fucking part of it anymore. Personally. It's getting crazy. I'm not going to live in a place that's going to allow crime and no police. And if I protect my home, we just saw it, and there's a Tim Pool video on it right now. Guy went and protected his home. He went to jail. That almost happened to me. Guy caused trouble in my store. I lifted him up by the seat of his fucking pants and threw him out. And because I'm not a noodle-armed fucking nerd like he thought. And he ended up on his ass. And then he went and bitched to the police because he's a little biatch. And I almost got arrested. Thank you for the dog farting hearts, Mary Ashmead. All right. Parental. This is not for kids. This is language, by the way. This is just language. It's somebody saying something. It's on Twitter. Twitter allowed it. The BBC allowed it. Of course, I want to preface this by saying obvious stuff. We have to say a lot of obvious stuff on Twitter, so forgive me. But I have nothing against anyone, any race of people, any religion. All are welcome here. I see you all as equals, and that equality can be, I see you equally. I can see you individually as an asshole or a good person, depending on how you act and how you treat me and treat others around you. I see people as individuals. I don't look through that lens. I am obviously not an ist or a phobe. I have employed members of the alphabet community, and my first hire at the comic store was a black man. I don't care about this shit. I usually don't justify it. I don't feel like I have to justify it because I don't have to fucking justify it. I know my fucking life. What I'm about to show you is somebody showing their true colors. Now, the beginnings of her statement, why I vehemently disagree with them, I have no problem with. It's what she says at the end. BBC airs segment with guest who claims we want to kill Whitey.
And black power is that those myths, as you were talking about, those capitalist myths are so prevalent today. They're so real today. Like the myths that we have about black power, like black power Wakanda, it's still a world where Africa was never colonized, was never pillaged for its resources. Like white power is Trump Tower. Like these things are put against each other. But when we say we want to kill Whitey, we don't really mean we want to kill Whitey. We do. But when we say we want to kill Whitey, it's like it's a capitalist. Not today.
Finish the show.
But when people react to people saying that white privilege, whiteness is a capitalist structure. It benefits itself. It hurts white people. It hurts non-black people. It hurts black people. But still, this kind of fear of a black alternative, and it's these sort
of. We could talk about alternatives all day long. Whatever she said before that sounded like a bunch of bullshit rhetoric to me, but I have no problem with it. That's all about free speech. It's what she said towards the end. That stuff's just allowed now. I don't want to hear that from anyone towards any race ever. But if she says it, she says it. The BBC allows it. That was supposed to be a comedy. That's comedy, by the way. That's on one of their comedy. That was brought to me. That was sent to me by an email. And it was, give me a second. I got to credit the YouTuber. I need to credit the YouTuber. Give me just a mo. Give me just a moment. It was sent to me. Where? There it is. Kay Wilson sent it to me. And it was on the Pulse. And that YouTuber is Darren Grimes Darren Grimes, and his YouTube channel is sorry, I like to give people credit because he broke this. So it's from Reasoned. It's called Reasoned. And you can check out, I'm going to put the link in the description. He's the one who broke it. Somebody just emailed it to me, so I don't want to act like that's like me breaking it or anything like that, because it wasn't. Obviously, you saw that. So there's the video. Yeah. So that's just whipping shit up and making it like so much worse, so much fucking worse. And she just said it with a smile on her face, like yeah. And I don't think she was serious, but I can't know that. And then somebody chimed in later, oh, not today. How's that going to help anything? How's that going to start a conversation? Because we'll use a paraphrased Peter Capaldi doctor speech. How many things have to burn? How many children have to scream until we all have to sit down and do what we should have done in the first place? Sit down and talk. And that's not going to happen because this is being mobilized by corporations. You and I are fighting corporations. We are fighting Hollywood. Hollywood is fighting with the customer, and we are paying for it. With our tax dollars, they're getting tax subsidies. When all we want is entertainment, I don't want Hollywood to go away. I don't. I want it to succeed and make good entertainment and make people happy. And if it wants to get political, and fine, but remember your main purpose here is not to influence, it's to entertain. Not anymore, though. I think those days are gone, personally. And we'll have to just entertain each other. But we'll see. We'll see. Disturbing, to say the least. I don't think is an understatement. I don't think disturbing is an understatement on that one. And that's from the BBC. And that is your license fee money. That I'd be pissed about. So how many people feel represented that you just paid for her to say that she wants you gone? You know how much Hollywood cares about you? Okay, listen, I know jack squat about the Tiger King, all right? Everybody's been telling... listen, I'm one of those people. Everybody watched it. Everybody liked it. Everybody told me to watch it. And then just because everybody was telling me that, I'm like, I don't want to watch it now. I'm just... maybe I'll watch it. I don't like if I would get really pissed off if there's bad treatment of animals and stuff. But Carol Baskins, I know everything about her, right? So she was on Dancing with the Stars. They hyped her out. She had a big tiger thing. It was a super fabulous tiger theme. And the family of her missing husband ran an ad right in the middle, I guess, of her routine. And I thought that was fucking brilliant. But that shows you how much Hollywood cares. There's a good chance she knows something about the guy she knows something about it, or maybe had something to do with it. I don't know. Hollywood doesn't know either, but they know there's enough question that they can monetize it and they could take it out there. So these are the people who are trying to tell us that film on Netflix is okay, How to Live Our Lives. Leo DiCaprio wants to own all his planes and his security guards, but he doesn't want you owning a firearm to protect yourself or a car to get your ass to work, no matter what that car runs on. And instead of saying things like, listen, we need to eventually get there. We know you have to get to work. I know not everybody can afford this, so let's all get together and not litter. No, they'll say things. They'll go out there. They'll tell us how to live, and they'll speaking of opportunism, my governor, listen, I'm not here to get in that conversation. I do believe the climate's changing all the time. If you look through history, it just has. Doesn't mean we should crap all over the earth. By all means, keep it clean. There's certain. I would rather see funds going towards going out into space and doing other things. Sure. And keeping the planet clean. I love Elon Musk, although those his cars don't keep the earth that clean, to be honest with you. And I work there, so stop with the counter arguments because I know where those batteries go. But Gavin Newsom was in the middle of a burnt out part of forest or whatever. And he's like, it's clear that climate change is upon us. I'm here to tell you, as a Californian of 51 years, the only thing it means when there's fires in the state in late summer, in late September, in early October, the only thing it means is it's late summer. That's it. These fires are bad, but these aren't the worst. They're calling them record. When they say record, they're talking about that general region. I was in San Diego. I had just moved from San Diego, actually. I was flying to my wedding when the third worst, or now it's like the sixth worst fire in the state happened, and San Diego, the entire city, almost burned down. North County almost burned down in 1997 and in 2007. Shit happens all the time. I'm in a horrible fire zone right now where stuff is dry. And yeah, so manipulation, opportunism, both sides do it. But there is, what we need to break is, like, there's a fucking good guy out there. You know what the good guys are? The ones, the good guys and gals, the ones that go to work, don't break any laws, make this world go around, pay their taxes on time, employ people. You know, the ones being vilified right now. And I think a lot of us, for, you know, the first couple of months of it, we're just in shock. You know, we're like, what the hell? This cannot be going on. But now it's gotten so ridiculous. The backlash has started. Thankfully, they realized it. Now they're dialing back, and they're going to be all about law and order and fucking whatever. The Dr. 14 Blu-ray Reviews has decided to join at the Gandalf level. I didn't know you liked me that much. And I still call her Dr. Karen. Nance K, welcome to the protomolecule level. I can speak. Craig Flanagan. Mr. Beekler, if I watch one of your unlisted videos, does it negatively affect your channel? Thanks for the shows. No. If it negatively affected the channel, I would make it private. If you guys have an unlisted link, the only reason it's unlisted is for algorithm reasons. By all means, watch the shit out of it. Have fun. If you want a link, hit me up or Lady Gravemaster and we'll send it to you. You watch Isaac Arthur, gives me hope for the future. I haven't, Zontar, but I will if it gives you hope. 2 Canadian pesos. Yeah. So I'm going to go in the chat. That what she said was disgusting. If anybody said that of any race to any other human being or generalized of any race, sure. And it doesn't really help anything. It just, I mean, it's Marxist gobbledygook. And she's a comedian. I'm wondering how many comedians there will be in a Marxist system. Now, I guess, you know, there's comedy in China, but China's not a true blue Marxist system. And I highly doubt you can question the government like you can. And that's the beauty of the UK. And that's the beauty of this country and other countries where you're allowed to say crazy shit like that. You're not going to go to jail. You're not going to get arrested. You'll get criticized by somebody like me. I think she has the right to say what she said. Free speech. I'll criticize the last part. Not saying it shouldn't exist. I'm just exposing for what she said. That's why we need free speech. We need to allow people to look as fucking dumb as they are. So by all means, must kind of suck for you to pay for it, though. Could I assume you are supportive of Gina Carano in her response to those attacking to her on Twitter? I am completely supportive of her. She's hot, says Jonathan Aldridge for £5. Okay, I respect Gina as a human being. I absolutely support her. She is hot, but I'm a happily married man. Very happily married man. So I'm not simping for Gina. That's Drunk 3PO's job, and he's doing, I mean, I couldn't even dream of doing it as good as he's doing anyway. But no, I am supporting Gina. I am very happy that she is an actor doing what we asked. I mentioned it last night. We were asking people to do this last year. When I say we, you and I, Jeremy, we were vocally asking for a creative in Hollywood or an actor to break the narrative. Step outside. Just nobody's asking you to join a side. Just break from one side. Just simply do that. Somebody in the media, some of the access media, one of the websites, go out on a limb and tell a different story. Like the truth. And that's what she did. And hopefully she doesn't get punished for it. And that's the one thing I was like, God, do I want to bring it up? Because, I mean, she's bringing attention to herself. She can bring the most attention to herself, which is good. She's got her followers. She's very popular. She's always been very popular with nerds. A lot of them wanted her to be Wonder Woman for the longest time. You remember that. And now she's even more popular. And I said that at the time. If somebody steps out, look at Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle just went against one narrative, and he had the most popular thing all last year, was talked about all summer. Sticks and Stones. Freaking great. And like I said last night, I've seen it 7 times. I love that special. And I love what Gina's saying. And I hope she keeps it up. She's taken a lot of heat, and she's taking the heat perfectly because it's nothing. Think about all that pressure you might feel on Twitter. Well, think about if you just don't go on the platform for a day. How much does it affect you? Not at all. See, it doesn't affect you even when it's happening because it's digital. It's not real. None of these people would say any of this shit to your face. Smooth Jam California for £5. Hey, Gary, here's a laugh for you. I was in HMV, a UK DVD shop. Yes, I'm aware of it. Today and saw a $200 collector box set of Game of Thrones. Yes, I shit you not. Such a thing exists. Yeah, $200. Oof. You know what? Spend that. Go find it on eBay. Find the bookcase of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit Blu-rays. You can get that collection, and it's a wooden bookcase, and all the cases are like books, and you get a little art book on the bottom. It listed for like $700, but now you can get it for like $200 or $300. Go get that. That's awesome. Master Gary, sir, I've been wondering, what are your midichlorians? Oh, that's a personal question there. Catastrophe for $5. Also, who would win in a fight? Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers or Jeremy from the Quartering? Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, probably. Well, I don't know how tall the Jeremy from the Quartering is. You know what? That would be a hilarious fight. I would pay top dollar to see those two boxing. They could sucker punch each other. I don't know. Jeremy's a closer friend, so I'm gonna say Jeremy. But I respect Jeremy from the Quartering a lot. He was great on Friday Night Tights. For somebody to come in who's never really talked to any of us before and sounded like he's fits right in, that's a fucking pro right there. That Nobody Guy for $5. Hail, Gary, check out Missing 411 on Amazon, documentary on hunters disappearing and their experiences. Exozone friendly. I've already seen it. I've seen it. I might do a watch party of that on Twitch. Thank you for the super chat. Douglas Nelson for $5. Been away thanks to the Hurricane Laura, but good to see that you're still going strong. We do not kneel. Why, thank you. And sorry about the hurricane, Douglas. Still doing well. Still doing very, very well. No complaints here. Ludger long last name. Lunger. Or is it Ludger or Ludger? I'll just say Ludger. Ludger, long last name. Thank you for joining up at the Geloja level. And it just jumped on me. Give me a moment. I have to refresh. Refresh with some terrible coffee too. All right. Wes Moody, webcast for $2. Klutzman ranks higher than Star Trek in keywords. Yes, it does. It actually does. You must have vidIQ. It does. Actually, Parliament is a sexy watch. I've always said Congress members would never survive a session of Parliament. Says Stalin Falcon for $5. I'm sure it's more exciting than ours. I'll give you that. The Dr. 14 Blu-ray reviews for £5. My family is still paying the TV license. I'm sorry to hear that. They're paying for people to say, kill Farty. Dag the gnome for 5 Canadian pesos. 150,000 pounds is 194,000 in US. Thank you. Thank you very much. Jonathan Aldridge. Yes, but they don't have 19,000 people making $150,000 or 150,000 pounds. San Francisco does. Gary, it's not worth giving the new director a chance. The new director wants the BBC to represent the country. He agreed to a pay cut. Gary, it's worth not giving the new, says Jonathan Aldridge for £5. Listen, I think you're just hearing lip service. I don't know if that's what you're trying to say, but I will believe it when I see it. I generally believe everything you hear in public from somebody who works in entertainment is bullshit and lip service. Gary, what about Gina Carano and the last actor to play Captain America in a Marvel story involving Captain Marvel and Captain America? Gary, what about Gina Carano and that last actor to play Captain America, Chris Evans, in a Marvel story involving Captain Marvel and Captain America? Asked Jonathan Aldridge. As far as Chris Evans and his wee-wee, I don't know. Not going to talk about Chris Evans' wiener. But yeah, Jonathan, I don't know what you're saying right there. Clarify in the regular chat. You don't have to give another super chat. I need the context, my friend. Crazy Cat Guy for $1.49. Thank you for the ice cream, but thank you for the super chats, Jonathan. And again, yeah, just answer in the regular chat. I'll keep an eye. Just hit @Nerdrotic. David Harvey for $10. 5 and 5 to replace the applause since you had to remove the Mando season 2 review. Hope Jeremy. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. Dude, I don't know what it was. Probably because I released it late. Maybe I'm in the doghouse right now because I did a cuties video. I don't know. We'll find out. My other videos were doing fine. Hope Jeremy is doing well with Sally going through. Yeah, I haven't checked with him. Yeah, we got Jeremy and Az going through some shit. And shout out to Drunk 3PO. Jeremy is doing fine because he's got Ryan Cannell to make videos for him on Sports Wars. My internet son. Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast for $5. This was DC's chance to right the ship. They did so. It was just right into the rocks. Yes. We're going to go over that in just a mo. $24.99 from Mexican Iron Man. Hail, my friend, my emperor. I'm packing up and headed to South Carolina. San Francisco is a wasteland. Crisis on First Tijuana, San Francisco complete. Infinite U.S. cities to follow. Call Doomcock is when you need security for tacos. Hail, Gary. Hail, mi amigo. Clarification, call Doomcock and I'll come running from Xanadu, South Carolina to provide security service or tacos or burritos. How about tacos and burritos? Hail. Mi amigo, have a safe trip and get the fuck out of California. Cal exit. That's what I'm doing. Going to Texas soon. Mexican Iron Man. The inspiration for the title of my biography, Crisis on Infinite Tijuanas, or in Infinite Tijuanas. Bird of Prey 5 for $2. South Park doing 1 hour pandemic special September 30th. I will be watching. Oh, that'll be interesting. I might review that. That's 14 days away. Iconelis for $5. Hail the beard. Hail. Thank you very much. Blow dried. Yes, that's right. Bamagrad for $8. Hail, Gary. Here is some gas money for going to the gym and your meetings. Keep up the good fight. The fight worth fighting. Thank you very much. I'm going to try to do it as subtly as possible. It really sucks. There's certain words I can't use. I'm going to speak in YouTube code, and I know it's ridiculous, and I know some people get away with it, and I get away with it at times too, but it's pretty clear right now that some of us who have been talking about that film are in the doghouse right now. It's pretty clear. So I got to find other ways to do it. I'm not going to shut up. I got to find other ways to do it. It's an honor to throw some support your way. No, it is my honor, Marcus Cato. Thank you for the $1.99. I will continue to do the best I can. I will try to be fair, but there's a point when you need to call out the bullshit. And listen, I'm going to be biased. I'm always biased. I'm a human being, freaking biased. Human beings are hypocrites, and we have bias. We aren't. I'm not absolute on everything or anything. I think that's a crazy way to live. But after experiencing what we did in that city, having to move, pick up everything, go through the stress of that, go watch my wife go through the shit she did, and on top of other things, and then all of you are probably dealing with a lot of similar shit to that. It's nice to have this to do. Communicate, commiserate, point out the bullshit. You guys bring me so much information, and I appreciate that. And some of it I cannot fucking believe. Not everything I can talk about, of course. But wow. Dana Bailey, thank you for the super sticker for $10. And a new member has arrived. Kevin Pierce at the proto-molecule level. JPRPH1 for $4.99. Just got here. How's Az today? Hail Gary. Well, hang on. Let's check and see how Az is. Wow, we got 1,741 likes. That's brilliant. Black Widow article in doc. Thank you, Lady Gravemaster. I'm going to get to that right now. Let me get rid of a few windows here, though. Give me just a moment. Then we'll check on Az. Then we'll get to the doc. Oh, my God. Really? Yeah, this Mandalorian thing doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for Disney, I got to tell you. All right, hang on. We're checking on Az. We're going to go to there it is. Oh my God, this app is a pain in the ass. Let me see. It looks like he's doing okay. I don't want to bug him now because he might be asleep, but last night he was doing fine. I'll check and see if he's on Twitter. Hang on. I know people love silences, but still mostly a one-man show here. So, yeah, I don't want to bug him. I think he might be asleep. I think he needs to sleep. But let's talk about Black Widow for a second here, because this is I might make a video on this in a little bit. Fucking A. Black Widow director Kate Shortland falsely claims Scarlett Johansson's Natasha Romanoff is the only Avenger without superpowers. Yep. Well, John, I'm sure John is aware. The director for this film has never read a comic book. Never. Now that's fine, but she's pretty clueless. And she's an independent director, and yeah, this is going to be a feminist movie, which sucks because remember Scarlett Johansson called this shit, or she tried to call this shit out last year, and then she bent the knee like that. She could learn a few things from Gina Carano. Scarlett Johansson could. Black Widow director Kate Shortland recently declared that the Scarlett Johansson's Natasha Romanoff is the only Avenger without superpowers. Oh, really? Really? Because Tony Stark had superpowers. Shortland's comments came while promoting in Hawkeye, superpowers. He's got really good vision. While promoting the film in an interview with Total Film alongside actress Florence Florence Pugh. Pugh. The director falsely claimed that the Black Widow is the only character that doesn't have superpowers in the Avengers. Apparently, Hawkeye gets the short end of the stick again. Also, Iron Man doesn't technically have powers. He does have access to a super suit. Others like Ant-Man, Falcon, War Machine also use suits and do not have superpowers. Yeah, the vast majority of them don't. After falsely claiming Black Widow is the only one who doesn't have superpowers, she claims the lack of superpowers is a strength. Shortland explains, we saw as a strength because she always has to dig really deep to get out of shit situations. We've only seen that really kind of once, to be honest with you. We haven't seen a fully realized Natasha Romanoff like Frank Miller's Natasha Romanoff. You know what I'm saying? That Black Widow. The one that the reason because before that, she was just basically like a Mary Jane with a Russian accent. Before that, it was Frank Miller that made her Black Widow. Natasha's like Jodie Foster's Clarice from The Silence of the Lambs. No, she's fucking not. It's great because she holds her gun, it shakes, but she's still really tough inside. No! She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. Natasha Romanoff would fucking steal Clarice's fucking lunch money and kick Hannibal Lecter in the balls. So you're not just watching her fly through situations, knowing she'll get out of it. You want to see her grit and her determination, and that's what we got. Pugh would also weigh in on the film, claiming that it was about the abuse of women. She told the film is about the abuse of women. Oh. Yay! Kids, come here. We're going to see a superhero movie about the abuse of women. Thanks, Dad. Dad, I want to get a Natasha Romanoff Black Widow abuse of women play set with abuse of women action. It's about how they get involuntary hysterectomies by the age of 8. It's about girls who are stolen from around the world. It's so painful and it's so important. You mean like child trafficking? Wonder who funds that. Pugh went on to say, part of the excitement for me is that women and girls from around the world are going to see this, and they're going to see an abuse story that really was challenged by its own victims. She added, for a Marvel film to be reaching out on all those levels, it's so exciting. By the way, the director of this film only directed parts of it. To direct a Marvel film is a cookie cutter. It's basically cookie cutter filmmaking now, generally producer driven. And there's your new Black Widow, by the way. I'm sorry, I was mesmerized by that picture. Pugh previously described the film to actor Beanie Feldstein and Variety's Actors on Actors series as raw and very painful. Yay! If they were going to make we said that Black Widow should have been a TV series on Netflix, done Daredevil season 1 style, then fuck yeah, I'm there. It would be good. You could certainly have these themes. That is part of her origin. I fucking completely agree with that. But the way it's presented, and maybe it's being overdone, and it might be that case where she says it's something, then it's, that's probably talked about for like a nanosecond in the movie. That could happen for sure. We'll have to wait until we see it. We have to wait until we see it. But I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit worse than that. And I think the MCU is coming. We've said it since last year, since we saw a little itty bitty Natalie Portman pick up a Thor hammer prop that she could barely lift. That's like a pound. And by the way, she's supposedly been working out and getting yoked. Has anybody seen that? Yeah. So, oh boy. That's all I got to say. What surprised me so much about the Netflix movie is that people are defending it on YouTube, people who I subscribe to. Very disheartening. JPRPH1 for $4.99. Yeah. It's one thing to defend it. But did you notice that every defense comes out with that right wing angle? And it just shows their colors right there. I haven't come out and said, well, you're a big old lefty if you're defending the contextualization of younglings. You're a big lefty. You're a lefty. You're an extreme leftist if you're defending the textualization or contextualization of my code words. Nope, haven't said that at all. Not once. You're incredibly misguided. I imagine the ones I have seen defending it don't have kids. Not that has to be a major factor in everything, but it gives you perspective. Parents are a little paranoid about that shit. The ones who care. Not every parent cares about their kid, unfortunately. Like these 600 parents who auditioned for this film. Thought they could monetize their youngster. Foul. Yeah, and guess what? I understand. I understand what the movie was trying to say because I watched it. I completely understand it. And I also understand that a lot of people can get what they need out of this movie without listening to a fucking word of it. Or listening. Doesn't matter. You should interview J. Stephen Roberts of Real Crusades History. He is a YouTuber writing a TV series about the Crusades for ChristianChannel.com. It will be historically accurate and a great watch, says Deef for 10 Canadian pesos. I might. I mean, I got to be into it. I don't usually do interviews, though, Deef. If you've noticed, I'm not big on interviews. But I will watch I will check that out if it's historically accurate. It's probably crowdfunded. There's no way Hollywood's going to fucking fund Crusader stuff right now. Admit it. You haven't set up your wall because you're waiting on an emoji bot from Capaldi's final season. You got me. Eric Steller for $10. You fucking got me, dude. You got me. What's funny is they do make Capaldi figures, but they don't have an action figure, a proper 5-inch action figure of his first suit. I just put, and is he tall in real life? Because he's got the tallest action figure. That was the last one I put up before my show. Cuties is not a feminist movie, says Jonathan Aldrich for £5. I agree. No, they think it's a feminist movie, and it might be to some people, but what it is it's the dramatization. It is a dramatization that contextualized young girls. While I'm tired of having the argument because it's disingenuous at this point. They know what we're saying. And they don't have a problem with it. They absolutely don't have a problem with it because it's art, and art is so important. And you know who it's important to? The fuckers that work in Hollywood. And I'm glad it's important to you, but it's not that important. It's not. And I haven't heard anybody in Hollywood admit you guys have a very bad record when it comes to children. Extremely bad. Documented, factual, bad record with children. You chew them up and you spit them out. And I don't care how many supervisors you have. All it takes is one powerful dude or girl to invite one parent or a kid to a party. And that happens probably on the regular, I'm guessing. Because when you get that rich, things get boring to you. And when things get boring, you get jaded. Or some people are just born with it, and that sucks. And they're going to try to feed that to us someday. They're going to try to feed it that it's a disease. And you know what? I agree. It is. One that you can't fix with some people. And at that point, you got to say, you won the lottery of suck, buddy, but you can't be in society. Sorry. For common sense, thank you. Thank you, Oliver Von Arx, for 5 Chilean pesos. I agree. I appreciate that. I agree for YouTubers. Just make a video on it. I'll watch as your internet son, Ryan, Geeks and Gamers, and more. Cover the same. Thank you, Mutant Bama Hammer. Oh, for $5. Yeah. Well, I don't care if other people make videos on the same topic days before I do. I'll do a video now. I've learned my lesson on that one because, like recently, Josiah and I and Jeremy all did a video on the same subject, and all 3 of our videos like freaking took off. And we had 3 different takes. That's it. Thanks to you all and all the other Nerdrotics for keeping me entertained while I'm locked down and working from home, says Rob Robbo for $5 Australian. Yeah, Australia, man. My heart goes out to you guys. You are most welcome. Thank you for entertaining me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this channel. We're going to be doing a lot of interesting things in the near future once I get this goddamn office done. Sorry, Father Christopher Miller. Took the Lord's name in vain. I'm not a Christian guy, but I respect him. So, the plan is you're going to have like different angles in here. And I've got another room where I'm going to shoot my more serious subjects. And I'm toying with another channel. We'll see. We'll see about that. I'm not too sure yet. There's still a lot of work to be done. I want to get these nooners at the same time every day. Or not. I want to be live every day at some point. But I want to get them live on, Monday, Wednesday at the same time. Once, my life gets a little more leveled out. Right now, that's not the case. So I warned you, the Nerdrotic Nooners are going to be at just crazy times until the move is done. Don't you understand? Joker is about not taking your medication, Jeb Nichols. That's so Scraven for $5 Australian. I never knew that. I never knew that. Jennifer Cisco, thank you for the You Rock sticker. You Rock for $3. Icanillis for $5. Currently working and re-editing remake the Batman trailer with a better suit. Anything you'd like to see? Yeah, a better suit. I don't think I mind much of anything else other than it looks like another grounded Batman, which could be good. But I want a comic book Batman with more detective stuff. I like what I hear, and I could love the movie. I could absolutely love the movie. I'm not sold on Robert Pattinson yet, but I could be. I'm open to it. I like Batman quite a bit. And I think this will be the last white Batman we ever get. Gray Still Skies for $20. Hail, Gary. Found your channel through Drinker, and I'm so glad I did. Fellow Tolkien fan here. Hail. I got some news for you. Do you have any Lord of the Rings figures from Weta Workshop? Keep up the awesome work, my friend. I do not have any of the statues from Ready What a Workshop. I am horrible with statues. I break every fucking statue I own. I'm going to get Sauron. It's going to cost a fortune, but I'm saving up to get Sauron because I don't have Sauron yet. But I have the figures from Osmus, which are brilliant. They are fucking great. Great. I got some Lord of the Rings news. It's from theonering.net. I'm just signal boosting these guys. They do the scoops and they do their live streams, and not that many people watch them. So I'll give them a signal boost. TheOneRing.net is a website I've been going to for 20 years. They used to get all the scoops on the original Lord of the Rings back in the day. They're a very old website. The premiere so season 1 is going to be 8 episodes long with a movie premiere. So we are getting another Lord of the Rings movie, folks. It is filmed like a movie by a movie director. He did the last Jurassic Park film movie. I didn't see it. I forgot his name. It's going to be a 3-hour movie split into 2 episodes, 90 minutes each. And it will be, I imagine it's going to have something to do with Numenor. Now, whether that's in the prologue, I'm not sure. These guys discussed it in length. It would be very hard to do the drowning of Numenor without it fully explaining what happened before that. And so they were thinking it wasn't it. I think that's it. I think they're going to explain what happened before that in a prologue. I agree with both of the guys on the live stream said that would be impossible to do in a prologue. I agree, and I still think they're going to do it. You got to read the Silmarillion because I think they got the rights to the Silmarillion, and I think they're going to be using a lot of stuff in there. So you might want to get caught up on that. I'm going to do it myself. I've got good news and I got bad news. Amazon's taking it seriously. They're putting a lot of money into it, but they're making some big mistakes. And it looks like they're going to do their own tone and feel. This is not going to be based on Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. This is going to be Amazon's Lord of the Rings. So when you watch this, I don't know how much it's going to fit into watching The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings afterwards, which leads me to believe that they will remake eventually their own Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Now, people will go, wait a minute. That's not what they paid for. That's not what they can do. They can't redo it. The Tolkien estate said this and that. Christopher Tolkien is dead. Unfortunately, may he rest in peace. May he, rest eternally with his pops and they have a good time. I mean, think about it. Some of these stories, some of these things came out of the mind of Tolkien when he was trying to ease his son. He would write his son's little stories and stuff while he was off at World War I, because little Christopher was worried about dad coming back and stuff. That's fucking awesome. But there's certain people not involved with this. I don't think Lee is involved. John Howe is not involved. Shippey, now they keep saying Shippey's not involved, but I've got an email from a Shippey representative saying he is. And Lady Gravemaster got that for me. So as far as I know, Shippey is involved in the Lord of the Rings series. In what capacity, I do not know, but he is involved. They are saying he isn't. They have a cast already. It's very young. This is going to follow Galadriel and Elrond and Sauron. And we're going to follow the forging of the rings, the creating of the rings, and it might climax with the War of the Ring. 5 seasons, 8 episodes a season. It's going to be the most expensive thing ever made. It's a $1 billion 5-season show. And it's going to cost more than that, by the way. That's just so far what they've spent. It's the most expensive thing ever fucking made as far as art by when things are all said and done. And they're not going to try to use the tone of the Peter Jackson films. They've got Disney people, Marvel people working on it. Weta Workshop is going to be making the swords and the shields and props. So that's good. That's fucking great. So that's a good sign. I don't know what's going on with these showrunners that were really experienced. I'm not sure if they're gone or not. I haven't heard word on that yet. But go watch their live streams. They're informative. And I mean, they're not high on production value, but neither am I. So I love the guys. I think they're funny. But what's coming for Lord of the Rings, what they won't talk about. Oh, Howard Shore wants to be involved in the soundtrack some way, they said, but he won't be conducting or composing, but he'll be involved in some way. And Weta Workshop will be working on the props. So that's the good news. The bad news is this is going to be a very inclusively diverse, probably SJW LOTR, MPC LOTR, PC LOTR. I don't know. I hope the fuck not. I fully expect races to be swapped. And if we still get a good story, I'm not going to care. If we start, hearing about gay elves and gay hobbits and, Sauron was, originally, I don't even want to go there, but you know where I'm going. Then no. Apparently, Gandalf, before he was Gandalf, he's a starry. He went down to Middle Earth in the Second Age. I don't think it's very specific about what form he took. So the female Gandalf thing totally could happen. I'm just waiting for that shoe to drop. It's funny with this, with Hollywood going so woke, they're going to make something called Lord of the Rings. Shill Wheaton is allowed to like Lower Decks. His mistake was telling fans that hate the show to go away as part of an attempt to keep them interested. Yes, Jonathan Aldridge for $5. That was Shill Wheaton's best advice. If you don't like the show, then go away. What a great selling point. What a great selling point. He also said it's the funniest thing he's ever seen. Lower Decks. The funniest thing he's ever seen. When Will Wheaton wakes up in the morning, somebody just programs what he says all day. I think he is an NPC to end all NPCs. Hail Gary, hashtag walk away, says Rhett1 for $5. A lot of people are. Fred Sacco for $25. Been a rough year. Lost both my parents in 2 weeks. In time from the beer bug lockdown, shows like yours and Friday Night Tights crew has replaced the need for prepackaged, agenda-riddled Hollywood content. Thank you. You are welcome, Fred. I'm very sorry to hear that. My God. Anything we can do to cheer you up, I hope we can do. That's awful. Thank you for the $25. Thanks, buddy. Jonathan Aldridge for £5. Gary, another stupid comment from the Cuties director. Cuties director called Cuties a feminist movie. Would your wife agree? She does not agree. She does not agree at all, as a matter of fact. And neither do the two alphabet friends I spoke with. No, they don't. DVM 421 for $5. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Jonathan Aldridge for $5 was thinking about whether a Marvel film with a male and female lead is worth it if I had Gina Carano instead of Brie Larson. I would, Gina Carano being in a film, I can get behind. Oh, that sounded terrible. Sorry, Gina. I apologize. I absolutely would support Gina being in a, like, if it's woke feminist stuff though, I don't know if she'd do something like that. Doesn't sound like she would. Joseph Yancey, welcome to the Jaloja level. I appreciate it. Gary, I'm not so sure if they can rewrite the Tolkien books. Jonathan Aldrich for $5. They cannot rewrite the Tolkien books, but there is a lot of room for interpretation in a lot of things. And if they make a whole series on the Second Age, and there's going to be, by the way, there's going to be spin-offs, because as far as I know, Amazon owns everything, and they bought everything, as they bought unreleased footage of The Lord of the Rings from Peter Jackson. They bought everything to control it. That sounds to me like they can do spin-offs. They'll do the Second Age show, and maybe the show lasts for 10 years. Maybe it takes 10 years to produce these 5 seasons. Then you're far enough away to where you can remake The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. You'd have to make it exactly that way, but I think they would probably talk the estate into having a... You guess. Enjoy Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. It might be the last perfect classic. Speaking jokingly, wasn't the first female doctor... here, I got to read it up here. Speaking jokingly, wasn't the first female doctor depicted in a comedy spoof with Rowan Atkinson? Yes, written by Stephen Moffat. Curse of the Fatal Death, DVM 421, and it's funny as hell. And the female doctor does the first thing a female doctor would do, grabs her tits. Cheers. Here's to boobs. I like boobs. I believe in free speech and boobs, just like that Clay guy, the sports ball guy. No, I know who he is. All right. I'm going to wrap things up, folks. It's been 2 hours, 25 minutes. I've got to make a video. I'll be back for Friday Night Tights. We got Bulls Trek as a guest. If you haven't heard of Bulls Trek, let me tell you about Bulls Trek. Him and I kind of got our start. Like he started his YouTube channel like years before I did, but we got our boost together. Dave Cullen shouted us out during the first Doctor Who kerfuffle. And, Bulls Trek doesn't full-time YouTube. He's got another job. So he took a big break over the summer. YouTube hates that. So what we need to do is get his channel boosted up again. And he's a good friend. And we did a lot of Doctor Who live streaming earlier this year. And he's back from his break now. So we want to give him his channel a little boost. He's one of the best YouTubers out there. He's from Canada. So he'll be on Friday Night Tights with us this week. And then we'll see about next week. I've got some... Hail Gary, just sent you and Young Ripa 59 an email about DC Comics. Says GeekTube for $4.99. I will check it out. Yeah, I didn't talk. We'll talk about it on Friday Night Tights. We will. I keep kicking that can down the road, but I got to get this office done. It's freaking driving me crazy. Let me see if I can get to that email real quick. Is it something I should read right now? DC bashes YouTubers. The books. Huh. Hang on. Okay. So DC bashes you. Let me see here. I used to love the books of magic. Yeah, I can't read all this now. Sorry. Too many long silences. But I will read that. Thank you very much. And if they go after YouTubers, I wouldn't be fucking surprised. What do you think this whole thing is? They're starting to come after Facebook groups and YouTubers because supposedly, so here's what's happening. Our Russian overlords are pulling our strings and they're going into Facebook groups that are giving us talking points to pass on to you to sway the election. That's what they're saying that I'm doing and other people doing. Publicly, I don't care who you vote for. I don't give a shit. Want you to be happy. Do whatever you do to make you happy. I respect your political decisions. Respect mine. I have had a local politician awakening, meaning I give a fuck. I used to not give a fuck. We all lived very comfortable lives, and now this comfort, we're told we're not allowed to have it. We were told it was wrong, and there are disingenuous people out there who just like, listen, you can hate the orange man. That's fine. But the TDS shit is a little crazy. He's just a president. He's just a fucking president. Calm your fucking asses down. You're getting hysterical and you're making things fucking dangerous. And the funny thing is, they're on the other side saying, we're dangerous. While we're not burning shit down. We're going to work. We're not burning shit down. And now we're at end game. Now we're just at the end game. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So thank you very much. Thank you for the Kyle Pike. Gary, show us the studio quick. Oh, would love to see it before you go. Yeah, I'll give you a peek. Sure. Thanks for the $20, Kyle. Of course. Thank you. And GeekTube, thank you for the email. I will read it and get back to you, okay? What makes you think that Chris Tolkien's kids would agree with whatever Amazon's request of them? They could just say no. What makes me think that? Jonathan Aldridge, I hope they don't. I hope they don't. But it's been my experience, things change as we go down the generations. So there was no possibility with Christopher Tolkien alive, like none of Tolkien's stuff getting fucked with. Well, Christopher's heirs, some don't even know Grandpa. So I think there's a possibility that they can be swayed with lots and lots of cheddar. Chris or Jonathan, we all have our price. Lots and lots of cheddar. Lots and lots of cheddar. Some is much higher than others. Fortunately for us, though, when it comes to our price and integrity, the vast majority of us will never be asked to do that and never be put in that position. Tell you what, one thing I can say definitively, and not that would ever happen. I don't want to work in Hollywood. I don't want any part of Hollywood. I worked in Hollywood. I don't ever want to go back. It was one of the worst places I've ever worked. The people were foul, and the good people were miserable. No thanks. Thought I wanted it. Found out immediately I didn't. I'm like, oh, this place is made for backstabbing pieces of crap, and I suck at that. So, sorry. Now, if you're a backstabbing piece of crap, you'll do really well. You're going to do really well down there. That is your town. All right. Let's take a look at the studio, shall we? By the way, thank you, Lori Wilson, Eric K., Mary Ashmead. Of course, this episode was produced by Lady Gravemaster. Thanks to Perry Chan for the clips. Hope you enjoyed the show. It'll be live on Nerdrotic Live in about an hour or two, however long it takes to process. We had almost 3,500 people watching. That is brilliant. We have 2,038 likes. Thank you all very much. Thank you all for the super chats. You keep the lights on around here. Again, Friday Night Tights, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time with Bulls Trek. Unfortunately, Az will not be making the show. We'll probably, I'll find somebody else to come in. Nobody can replace Az. Nobody can replace Az. What's up, Perry Chan? What's up there? He says he loves Bulls Trek. All right. So let's take a peek at the studio, shall we? Now, it's not going to look, okay. So this camera is on a green screen setting. So it's going to look kind of pixelated and funny. That's why I look kind of pixelated and funny, because it's on a green screen setting. So keep that in mind. Oh, you know what? I put the wrong thumbnail on this whole thing. I just realized the wrong thumbnails on this. That's crazy. Let's fix that. Let's fix that right as we end the show. Okay. Which side do I want to open up? We'll go with this side. Sorry. I've got that bum shoulder, so I can't lift my arm up. I know I haven't gotten to the doctor yet. I don't have time. There you go. What do you think? I can go the other way too. Wait. There's a peek. There it is. So kind of. Look at that. So you're seeing old and new. I thought I did a pretty good job. I did that out of memory. So, but I've been looking at that shit as much as you have. But if you go like that, so it's almost done. Almost done. There's a larger depth of field. I got to backlight it a little bit. This shelf needs to be filled up. It's going to be all Doctor Who figures on the back right there. And then so it's going to be all Doctor Who figures and then Lord of the Rings up top. And I'm going to have ships hanging above. I still have to sound. You can still hear an echo because I have to soundproof right here, right above me. But I'm going to have a table in the middle so I can have guests when the coup fucking ends someday. I can have people over and we can do more podcasts. The goal is to have scheduled videos, scheduled live streams. It's good to have goals. I don't know if sometimes these are just lofty things that are in my fucking mind that I'm never going to get to, but we'll see. We're going to streamline the channel. There's some things I'm going to be shutting down here in the next couple of months. The Facebook group being one of them. And I already shut down my Discord and just to make I need to be able to get to things I can get to. I'm just one person. And even with Lady Gravemaster, there's only so much we can do. I ain't got a team like Jeremy. I ain't got a team. I don't want a team. I don't. That's a lot of people to look after. I got kids. I'm good. So thank you very much, everyone, for liking, sharing, subscribing, for tuning in. The Nerdrotic Nooner will return on Tuesday. Because remember, I'm not going to have it on Monday because the Inquisition will be on my channel this Sunday. So the next live stream is Friday Night Tights. Then Sunday morning, I will be reviewing The Boys for about a half an hour on Nerdrotic Live. The last episode we did had like 2,000 people watching on Nerdrotic Live, so that's awesome. If you've never heard of that channel, that's my alternate channel where I put all the live streams. Then, of course, the Inquisition with Doomcock. And everyone, have a wonderful day.
Nerdrotic.com.